Passover week will unfold, that they've spent a good part of the journey from Galilee arguing about who will get which position of honor in the kingdom. Dinner begins. Peter, pass the lamb. Hey, James, let's go to the temple early. I don't want to miss 10,000 angels teaching those Roman legions a lesson. Psst, Matthew, I'd say our money woes are about to be history. The disciples expect that these lamplit hours among friends in the upper room would carry into the evening, poignant but peaceful, full of toasts to the good years to come. But things began to unravel. The unraveling. The Apostle John records the exact moment the mood changed. John 13:2-5. And supper being ended, Jesus rose from supper and laid aside his garments, took a towel, and girded himself. After that he poured water into a basin, began to wash the disciples' feet, and to wipe them with the towel with which he was girded. Shocked, the men can only watch in shame as Messiah swabs grime from between their toes. Water plinks into the bowl. The disciples shift nervously, not daring to speak. Why would tomorrow's king behave like tonight's houseboy? Things get worse. Most assuredly, I say to you, one of you will betray me, Jesus announces. The stunned men look around the circle. Then comes the clincher. Jesus tells Peter that before sunup, he will deny his Lord 3 times, and an awful realization begins to dawn. Their whole mission is doomed. Of course, Jesus has been trying to tell them for months that his appointment in Jerusalem is with a cross, not a crown. But his warnings have been mixed with predictions that Messiah is about to return in power and glory, and the disciples have heard what they wanted to hear. But tonight, Jesus strips away their last hopes. A little while longer, and the world will see me no more, he says. But you will see me. That rules out any scene of public triumph. Jesus presses on. The final blows sound like a concession statement. I will no longer talk much with you, for the ruler of this world is coming. That can only mean one thing. Jesus is not the ruler. He will not be king. Now I can see pain written all over the disciples' faces. Listen with me to Jesus' words. Out of context, they seem serene, almost hopeful, but in the crisis of this room, each phrase mirrors the emotional devastation of his men. Listen to his words, then watch their faces. Little children. They're feeling small and weak. I have loved you. They're staring at him in disbelief, mistrust, and fear. Let not your heart be troubled. They're sinking in anxiety and dread. I will not leave you orphans. They're slumping before him like abandoned children, defenseless in a hostile world. The evening in the upper room ends. The questions end. Into the silence, Jesus says, Arise, let us go from here. Light in the vineyard. 11 dejected men follow Jesus down the stairs and out into the cool night air. Some of the disciples carry lamps or burning torches to light the way. Perhaps Jesus tells them where he is heading, to a garden on the Mount of Olives, where they often spent time. Perhaps they already know. But I believe that as their footsteps echo through the narrow streets, not a word is spoken. The disciples follow Jesus down the hill, through the winding streets of Jerusalem. Avoiding the Temple Mount and its noisy, celebrating crowds, Jesus turns right and leads them out of the city. Then they turn sharply left to follow the Kidron Valley up toward their destination. Along the terraces that follow the curve of the valley, they pass through ancient vineyards. They walk in single file between the rows of neatly tended grapes, plants that have been bearing fruit for generations. To the left, above them, tower the city walls and the ramparts of the temple. Ahead and to the right rises the Mount of Olives, where Gethsemane and betrayal await. Here Jesus stops. Hemmed in by rows of vines, the disciples gather round. Lamps and torches sputter in the night air and flicker in their eyes. Jesus reaches for a grape branch. Showing signs of new spring growth, its woody stem lies across his hand in the golden light. Now he begins. I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. In the next few minutes, Jesus talks quietly about branches and grapes and how a vine dresser cares for his prize vineyard. It certainly isn't what his disciples expect to hear, but this is the moment Jesus chooses to reveal their surprising destiny.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.